All right, let's do one last example of solving by substitution. And this is going to be the most difficult, but you're going to see the steps are exactly the same. Okay, it's going to be the algebraic part that's slightly more difficult, but I believe you guys can do this. So again, we start with our two equations, x equals 2y plus 8, and then 2x plus y equals 11. All right, so we've got our system, and we need to circle the expression for the equation that is solved for one variable. All right, so if I look at these, I can see that that first one I have here, this is solved for x. So my expression that I need to circle is the 2y plus 8. All right, now step 2 then, I got to do the substitution. So I pay attention to the fact that this is x, which means this is going to go in the place of x. Now what makes this one a little different is that notice there's a coefficient of 2 times this x. So I'm going to go ahead and write the 2y plus 8. But what I've also got to note there is it's not just x is the 2y plus 8 when I substitute, but I've got to multiply that entire expression by 2. So to do that, I'm going to put it in parentheses and create some distributive property. So 2 times x, in this case, is going to mean 2 times the expression 2y plus 8. Now I continue the rest of the equation there of plus y equals 11. All right, so this is what I've got. Now, once I've got it set up, step 2, I need to solve for the variable, which in this case is y. So back to my rules that I already know for how I solve, I start with, this time, distributive property. So I'm going to take the 2 that's outside parentheses and multiply it by the 2 parts of the expression inside of parentheses. So 2 times y is going to give me 4y, and 2 times the 8 is going to give me a positive 16. Now I do not multiply it by anything else. That's all that was inside. So then I just bring down plus y equals 11. All right. Now I have like terms on the same side of the equal sign because I have 4y and y here. So I need to combine those. So they're both positive. So 4y plus another y is going to give me 5y. So I now have 5y plus 16 equals 11. Okay. Now I have my two-step equation. So this plus 16, that's the constant, but since it's added, the way I'm going to get rid of it is to subtract 16. And what I do on one side of the equal sign, I do on the other. So the positive 16 and the subtracted 16 go away, which is going to leave me with 5y. So I now have 5y over here on the left. Now 11 minus 16, okay, 11 is positive. The 16 acts like a negative, which means since my signs are different, I subtract them. So if I think in my head, 16 minus 11, that's 5, but the 16 is bigger. It's acting like the negative, so my answer is going to be a negative 5. So now I have 5y equals negative 5. The 5 on the y is a coefficient. So to undo a coefficient, I divide by 5 on both sides of the equal sign. All right, that's going to give me my y all by itself, which is what I need. And so now I know that y equals negative 1. All right, so 5 divided by 5 is 1, but I have a negative sign, so it's negative 1 becomes my solution for y. So now in step 4, I'm going to take that negative 1 again and put it back into the original. And again, I highly recommend going with the one that you circled. Okay, so I am going to put that y in here. So that's going to be a negative 1 that I'm going to put that in. But again, notice that I've got a 2 outside of that. So when I do this, I've got x equals 2. But then I've got to multiply by the y of negative 1 plus 8. So 2 times negative 1 is going to give me negative 2 plus 8. All right. And again, signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. So 8 minus 2 is going to give me 6, and the 8 is bigger, which is positive. So my answer is going to be x equals 6. So again, here's my x value, my y value. Now I've got to write my answer in XY form. So again, make sure you get the x value first. So my x is 6, my y is -1, and there is my solution to this system.